Hi, I'm Jay Davies.
Hi, I'm Jack Medland.
Okay, so I'm a psychologist. I work in Busselton. I have come to psychology later in life. It's my second career.
Went to Korean high school, fell in love with surfing and surfboard making and moved down south after high school.
Live down here in the beautiful southwest. I'm an ex-professional surfer. Spend my time on the ocean and in the ocean. I mean, for a long time, I never really knew about mental health at all. It was kind of something that never really was highlighted in my life, like in our education or anything. But I've lost a brother-in-law to mental health, which was very, very confronting for me and my whole family. That was probably the very first part. And then just some personal stuff for myself as well. That's kind of the crux of my mental health issues, so I guess now is the time to start highlighting it and trying to get more awareness around the southwest, especially into the younger generation. I think the younger generation is more aware of it now.
I guess having the knowledge of it has probably helped me even more, especially from such a young age when we started doing that.
We have been through 3 years of societal trauma, and I think people forget that. It seems like, oh, we're out of it and that's it. The reality is that it's after everything has happened that people are starting to realize the impact it has had on them and the limitation it might have caused as well for example, people who might have lost their work and things like that.
I think it definitely helped sort of set the foundations on keeping level-headed over the last few years, where it's probably everything's got a bit more complex, sort of getting a bit more serious with life and taking on a lot more responsibility. It's definitely good to know those foundations so that I can, I guess help myself sort of move forward positively.
At the end of the day, if we work hard now at helping young people to process what has happened to them in the last few years, then we have a better chance that they're gonna actually be very productive in their working life. But this is my personal view on things.
I don't know, it might be the isolation a bit. Like people tend to probably just like close the doors to people.
I guess probably being influenced by like partying and drugs and alcohol. I mean, I know it happens everywhere, but probably down here could definitely be a little bit of maybe a hot spot, especially over summer and stuff. But
men want to be macho, I guess, like they don't really want to speak about their feelings as much. It's just like the stigma behind it. If you don't have friends that you can catch up with, or like a positive outlook, like with surfing or a sport you love or something, you can really get isolated. And I mean, your upbringing can be damaging, and then you don't have many friends, and it's just a combination of things. And yeah, it's just sad, I guess. Like, we need more outlets for people that have these problems going on. I haven't had that many problems with it, but just recently I had an injury that brought me out of the water. So I couldn't surf, I couldn't work. I spent a lot of time on my own, a bit isolated at the time, so that was probably highlighted my problems. Yeah, very hard, I guess.
Or probably financial, just learning how to live by myself. I guess moving out of home and paying rent, paying bills, paying for food, and also juggling that with a young lifestyle, going out, trying to go to gigs and parties and events and on holidays and stuff, sort of having to be self-sufficient. So probably more recently taking on the lease for the workshop, that's sort of like another step. So I think being mentally healthy definitely helps sort of move through those goals, because I feel like you can definitely be dragged down quickly without really realising, especially through these sort of transitional years that we go through. I mean, for me, definitely having a healthy routine and balance, sort of week to week's been my biggest saviour, I think. Surfing as much as possible. I've been going to the CrossFit gym at here, VSC, which has been really good for me. Getting out of bed early and just setting up for the day. It also helps me from sort of not going too hard on the weekends or anything like that. But yeah, it's also just a good balance, I think. Work and lifestyle balance. I guess just having heaps of different activities definitely helps you from sort of petering away into that dark zone. Whereas I think if you don't have much commitment or if you're not enrolled in anything, you don't really have anything to fall back on. Definitely probably just like what you guys are doing, raising awareness, maybe having more programs where people are talking about it a bit more, normalising the fact that mental health is a thing and not trying to sort of brush it off and keep it in the dark. I think the more people talk about it, the more people are aware, which is probably the best thing.
I guess just what you guys are doing is putting out more awareness that it's not just the people that are less fortunate that are having these problems, the people that are wealthy and are doing really well, but they're struggling with mental health. Everyone feels like there's like a hierarchy in some ways. I think we got to bring us back down to level at where everyone's more accepting of others. There's no answer for it right now. I guess it's just about spreading the word and making sure everyone's aware of the challenges out there in life.
If you do need to have obviously support, there's always the helplines and also going to the hospital if you need to. In general, you can actually access really good sessions through video calls. Nowadays, a lot of psychologists across Australia actually are providing video calls sessions. So you don't need to have a psychologist that lives next to you. You can actually access anyone from Perth or from Sydney or Melbourne if you wanted to. It's completely okay. Sometimes it helps as well if you feel quite anxious about going into a session, being home and starting maybe the first session through video call might be helpful to just start a few sessions like that. I have had clients who start sessions like that and then come down and see me in Busselton. So it's fine, it's absolutely fine, whatever works for you. Even a telephone session is fine to start with. So it might be something else to think about.